Hello and welcome to episode 14 of the HamCorp Training Manual. In this episode, we will prepare for the advanced coke oven coming in the near future by spending an absurd amount of time selectively breeding crops for faster growth and greater yield. We will also show off the adventure backpack. So I would like to automate polyethylene. I've been making it manually, and that's fine, but it's very tedious. And I would like to just have this passively crafted. But to do that, I'm going to need a bit more power. I don't really have the power to have that running and also be able to do anything meaningful on this side. So to step up our power generation, I want to make the advanced coke oven. That will make a lot of charcoal. I don't get any creosote out of it, which is fine because I'm not going to dismantle the existing setup. I'm just going to add to it. So I'm going to have that producing creosote anyway. But I want to have the advanced coke oven, and to supply the advanced coke oven with enough logs, I need to breed up the stats of some of my bonsais. Because these bonsais, they're fine. They're able to keep up with what we have now, but I'm not entirely confident that it'll be able to keep up with an advanced coke oven on top of it. So I need to breed up the stats of these. There are 3 stats. The stats are growth, gain, and resistance. Growth affects the growth speed of the crop. Gain affects the outputs, and resistance, I don't really know what resistance does, and it's not really important for what we need. The reason I haven't talked about any of this before is because we didn't have the means to identify what the stats are on any of these crops. But now we can make the scanner. And actually we could have made it a while ago. This is an LV machine. Well, it's an LV machine, but it actually uses MV circuits to craft. I didn't notice that before. But regardless, we can still make this now. Here's the scanner. I also made a weeding trowel, and I put down this little thing over here just because I want to collect some weeds. And I only want to collect weeds because there's a quest to submit 16 weeds. So this is not going to stay. This is just because I was too lazy to go to the farm. Now that we have the scanner, we can do some things. For example, I have these unknown seeds. Don't know what they are. Let's put them in the scanner. Wow, that's way slower than I thought it was going to be. So this is oak bonsai. This is the same thing because it's stacked before, which means it has the same stats. So here you can see that this oak bonsai seed has a growth stat of 3, a gain stat of 1, and a resistance of 2. The ideal stats, according to the wiki, are growth 23, gain 31, and resistance 0. So we're going to have to breed these stats up. And the way you do that is basically we plant these 2 into 2 crop sticks and then have a cross crop stick in between. And then the child of the 2 parents will have stats that are about the same as the parents, but they can mutate a little bit and the stats can go up or down. And when they go up, we keep the child and replace one of the parents. And then we just repeat that process until you have your final growth stats. However, the oak bonsai is pretty slow to grow. And from what I understand from looking around at some resources online, the best crop to do this whole process with is actually stickreed. We don't have any stickreed, but there's a quest about it. Okay, so I'm going to spend some time at the farm doing some crossbreeding. I showed that a long time ago in one of the earlier episodes. So I have a filing cabinet here that I'm going to use to store my junk seeds. I also have some fertilizer, and I got a crop matron, or crop matron, I don't know, from an IC2 loot bag. So that actually finished a quest for me, which is nice. And that gave me Weed X, which actually finishes this quest. But I can't even do this quest because I haven't done the prerequisite. So yeah, a lot of unexpected progress that just came out of the loot bags, which is nice. But importantly, I got the fertilizer. And this I can use to speed up the growth. If you see the stats on the top, it now says fertilizer, well, it's at 100, now it says 99. So it's a little different than how bone meal works. It doesn't instantly grow the crop, but it does help speed it up. I moved the reeds to this kind of diagonal shape because then we can have 2 crop sticks. And in one of these crop sticks, we got some stickreed. This is the first stickreed. Now, I don't know if I want to harvest this right now or try to propagate this first with a second stickreed. I think I'm gonna risk it. I think I'm gonna try and harvest it. Okay, lucky, got it. Now I have no idea what the stats are, but I don't really care. because no matter what it is, I want the stickreed. So, I'm gonna plant this here, let this grow, hydrate it, fertilize, and then something will pop up here at some point, and I'm going to place more crop sticks here. I'm going to be very careful to watch for weeds here, because I don't want the weeds to kill my stickreed, my one stickreed. Also, I've started building kind of a, I don't know, a wall along the river. I thought it would be kind of cool to have like an elevated flat area overlooking the farm and the river. I don't know, it's just an idea, and I'm just kind of playing around, which is why I'm not going to time-lapse it. I'm just kind of finding ways to fill the time while breeding crops. I'm also processing ores and stuff. Anyway, back to the grind. Okay, we have some papyrus. Interesting. Can grow some paper. Still no second stickreed. It's been a while. I have some stickreed now, and I'm able to make more, so that's nice. And soon we can have a stickreed farm that will produce sticky resin. Besides that, I also moved the crop matron over here. Just powering it with a battery. Same with the scanner. I got tired of running back to the base just to scan one seed, so I moved it here, also powered but with a battery. We've had some interesting seeds: eye bulb, glowflower. Nothing truly incredible. So I have what is this? Water lily. I think that just gives us lily pads. Yeah, I don't really care about that. But let's see what kind of stats we're up to now. These grow like pretty fast, actually. Not fast enough that it's constant work, but wow. Wow, that's terrible. That's going in the junk pile. But one of these reeds, yeah, this one has a growth of 6. And then the stick reed, this one has a growth of 4 and a gain of 2. So quite a way away from the ideal 21, 31, 0. But I mean, even a small improvement is good. Then I can pass these traits on to the oak bonsai at some point, and then hopefully this will be enough to keep up with everything at max stats. But I have no idea, actually. I don't know how much faster max stat crop is compared to these basic crops. We'll see. A lot of waiting, a lot of doing nothing. I built a bridge. I built these walls. I kind of like it. I'm gonna smooth them out. Yeah, I don't know. I just got my first growth 10 stickreed. Yeah, I've been at this for a while. We have some interesting crops. We have blaze reed, which is really nice. I'm waiting for it to grow fully before I harvest it. And I hope I actually get it, because I've had a few other interesting crops, but when I tried to harvest them, it just didn't give me the seed. I have been here for a long time. Don't do this in one sitting. However, I will tell you that I am up to growth 21 and gain 12-ish. So, big progress. So apparently you don't want growth to go over 24, because then the crops start acting like weeds. And we don't want that. So that's why we're not actually aiming for a growth maxed stat of 31. And we're going to settle for 21. 23 would be better, but it's a little too close to 24. So I want to have a little bit of wiggle room so I can have it be 23. So this stuff grows really fast now. Like, I'm barely able to keep up with harvesting the children and scanning them. I've also started breeding up some oak bonsais, just on the side. Whenever I have a spare child, I just put it in the middle and then have the stats go up. I also got a bunch of new plants. Salty roots for salt. Blaze reed for blaze rod. Olivia for olivine. Nickelback for nickel. Tine for tin. And obviously tin ore berries for tin. It's a new day. I've done it. I got my first 31 gain stickreed seed. Now I just need to get a bunch more, and then I can pass those traits on to the oak, then replace everything. I've already started replacing some of these with just the ones we've been getting along the way, because they are better than the base ones anyway, so I thought why not. But this has taken an absurd amount of time. I've been doing this for like at least 12 hours. So don't do this. First of all, don't do this in one sitting. I couldn't even do it in one sitting, and I'm crazy. Just do like a little bit over time, and then eventually you'll have the perfect 21-31-0 crop. I'm so close. I have 20-30. I basically have it at this point, because you're never gonna get exactly 21-31-0 for every single crop. It's just gonna be approximately that much. Just make sure not to go to 24 on the growth stat. Alright, it has been a long time, but I finally have pretty much what I want. So a lot of these parent crops are all in the range of 21-31-0. So I'm just going to leave these here and then have them breed children and use the children to breed up the oak bonsais to similar stats. So that's going to take some time because the oak bonsais don't grow as fast as the stickreed. So once they get planted, I have to wait quite a while for them to grow. But I have replaced about half the oak patch with some better crops. They're not 21-31, but they are better than the base crops. And I've already noticed a pretty significant increase in the amount of wood because we're now getting a backlog. We actually were not really getting a backlog before, maybe barely, but it has built up quite a bit faster, and I've noticed that it's gotten faster. Just look at all these waste seeds. These are all stickreed, pretty much. There's a couple unknowns, but I know they're garbage. These are the ones that I thought were interesting. Fertilia I got from a quest. You can grow fertilizer. Glowing earth coral is glowstone. Peru is iron. Tin ore berries, tine, nickel, olivine, blaze, and salt. But some other things I've done. I took all the lazurite that we have from the lapis vein, and I processed pretty much all of it. And just look at this stash of dust. Oh, it's so nice. But we actually cannot directly convert the aluminium dust into aluminium ingots. We need to compress it into raw aluminium first. I don't want to do that. So I want to be able to do one of these recipes where I just directly smelt the aluminium into aluminium ingots. But for that I need an HV power system and also Canthal coils. Right now we have cupronickel coils, but we need to tier these up to Canthal. And also I need MV energy hatches. I need 2 MV energy hatches so I can get HV power, because remember, each one of these can accept 2 amps. I've also been working on making the adventure backpack, and I think I have just about everything. This thing is really nice because it has a bunch of storage space, comes with a crafting table, comes with 2 fluid storage units, I guess. I'm gonna put milk in one of these because milk clears debuffs, and then I think the other one's gonna be water. You can put it on your back so it doesn't cost an inventory slot, and then it's literally on your back. You can keybind it to open it, or you can just click it in your inventory. And if you click this button, you take it off, obviously, and you can place it and then turn it into a bedroll and then sleep. Or you can do that directly just by holding shift, and then you can click this and then you sleep. Well, it's not nighttime right now, but yeah, so quite a nice backpack, and it's a different backpack than this one. So these 2 things can be, oh my god, these 2 backpacks can both be worn at the same time. So I basically have a second backpack now with a bit more space. Another nice thing about this backpack is you can store tools in these 2 slots here. So let's get, for example, let's put the pickaxe and the shovel here. And now, if I hold shift and scroll up, I get the pickaxe. If I hold shift and scroll down, I get the shovel. And it basically swaps what you're holding with the item in this hot slot. I have also made 4 good miners. These are the MV auto miners, but they use an LV amount of power. So I can actually still power them using an LV battery buffer. These have a much bigger work area, 33 by 33 compared to, I think it was 17 by 17 for the LV miners. So almost double the diameter, I guess, even though it's a square. So like 4 times the area almost. So that's a pretty big upgrade. And I've marked some of these veins as depleted, even though they're not actually depleted. So I'm gonna go back to these and mine them up with the good miners instead of the basic miners, and that'll get me a couple of resources that the old miners have missed. Also, I'm gonna pigify this backpack. Oink. The reason I did that is if I ever get struck by lightning, which I can have happen, but if I get struck by lightning while wearing this pig backpack, it turns into a pigman backpack, and this gives me fire resistance, and it's just total complete immunity to fire. So it's pretty nice. But it's time to make the advanced coke oven. But sadly, that's gonna have to wait until next time. Thank you for watching this episode of the HamCorp Training Manual. In the next episode, we will put together the advanced coke oven, automate it, and if there is time, try to make our first buckets of benzene. HamCorp would like to advertise its brand new Discord server to allow employees to work from home and collaborate. Link in the description. See you next time.